G'day, g'day, g'day. It's your boy Danny D, aka Alak-Trician Man, in the house with a couple of awesome guests today with us. Mr. Wesley Long, CEO and Dev of F.A.T.E Labz.
How's it
going?
Going
to be hearing a lot from him later on. Absolutely awesome. And my boy Blue Chip Drip Maxi from the Crypto Collective in the house. He's got a couple of delays there, but I'm sure it's going to be a freaking amazing and fun stream. All right. So thanks to everyone that's out there. I know there's been a few of you already sitting out there waiting. I caught a couple of you on the Crypto Unlimited 22 live stream this morning as well. And I know you were out there watching. And so I've had a couple of Alak-Azuls already this morning at like 7 o'clock this morning. And I will do some more again today. Actually, I'll start with one right now for all the peeps out there. Alak-Azul.
Coffee.
There you go. What's that one? So absolutely awesome. I'll put these up here. Jonathan was here like before we started the stream. Shout out to you, bro. Always good to see you there. LCM, well, thank you. Thanks for the message too the other day. Gary, always good to see you here. Johnny Fawcett and DeFi Diva, I sent you guys a link. If you decide to join us later on, that'd be awesome. But thanks for having me on your show this morning. Tony, hey, thanks for your comment on my my knocking on heaven's door video the other day. Thank you. Greatly appreciate that.
That was really good, actually. I checked that out.
Oh, did you?
I did, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Motivation Money, Big B in the house. Panadol, thanks. See, we're getting quite a few people. Who are ready. Gary, Driptoken, Nelly, thanks, brother. Thank you. Alak-Azul, supporting community in crypto, absolutely. Pranil, thanks again for joining. So there you go, guys. It's already like, woo! I can feel the positivity already. Okay, it's going to be a great vibing show. Blue Chip, Wes, give us your introduction first, right? Let us know about you. And I'm surprised you didn't even know about Drip.
I did not. I'm still consider myself relatively new to the crypto space. I mean, I got into it about 2 years ago. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a designer, my designer and developer pretty much my entire adult life. Started off with just like logos and brochures and went to websites and applications and even hardware. So I got into crypto about 2 years ago. This project was actually one of the first projects that I put into.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it started for me. Okay. But yeah, I never heard of Drip until I met you, basically, and I didn't quite know what it was.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, my bad for not explaining it more to you when we were on the Zoom that time, but you'll hear about it now from now on. So we're at an exciting time with that.
Nice.
And so yeah, my boy Blue Chip Drip, brother, introduce yourself to the people out there that don't know you, which is probably very few. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I entered Drip. I've been in crypto probably a little shy of 2 years, and you guys can hear me okay?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good. Anyway, I entered crypto about 2 years ago, and what it was, Big T, my team leader, talked to me about crypto, and I didn't give it much thought. And a couple other friends, Gordo, and then another friend that his YouTube name is Nino, they entered and they started making some money. So I started paying attention. And then my friend Nino sent me a screenshot of where he made, like, it just said Bitcoin SV, and it showed his assets at like $6 million. So
Wow.
that really lit a fire. Yeah. So here I am. I'm like, holy shit. I'm getting on crypto and I'm trying to find crypto with 0.0000, and so I could buy and sell it, and nothing was happening. And then Big T introduced me to drip. And so I liked it, studied up on Forex Shark, and I love the tokenomics, the security. So I just started, I moved all the crypto I had, about 10K in there, and started dollar cost averaging the whole way down. And here I am, about a year and a half later, I've got almost 5 max wallets. And I was telling my friend Nino, he's like, hey, I told my friend Nino, I said, man, he goes, you're doing good. I said, I want to be like you. I want to be a millionaire. And he said, I was just playing a joke on you. I just sent you a screenshot off the computer. That wasn't mine.
Well, you know, man, people,
I'm like,
it works.
It's possible, right? It's all totally possible.
Yes. Well, Nino, he's a martial art instructor like yourself. So I feel like in his own sick black belt mentality, he needed to do something like that to motivate me. So.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of different motivation things you can call on for motivation in crypto. And yes, look, a lot of times you hear the stories about, man, hey, when the Lamborghini and things like that. And that's a great thing to have, right? It's a great thing to be motivated by. But I mean, everyone out there that's watching, I'm sure if they watched my channel before, my view is always, it's not so much about the Lambos and the castles and the mansions, which you can definitely achieve, but it's the financial freedom that you can get. It's about time that being in crypto, it's the free time that crypto gives you and having that passive income. So, but yeah, man, like, again, I'm living proof. I'm retired because of crypto. So, it's definitely a fun, positive, awesome thing to be in, and just have the right mentality when you go into it in the beginning. I mean, have those big goals, but also have the short-term goals to achieve. And if you take it in little steps, the journey becomes so much better. Instead of like setting yourself something that's so high and it's such a struggle to achieve that you get disheartened along the way. That's just, again, my opinion. So there you go. Yeah, man, like I got to agree with this one. Blue Chips is funny as fuck, and you are, brother. I listen to your voice messages and stuff on Telegram, and so I've wanted to have you on the show for so long, man. It's freaking awesome. Another one to my close to my heart with the drinks. I'm gonna have to do another one. Alak-Azul.
Salute.
So there you go. We'll touch a little bit on the drip stuff first, Wes, because there's a lot of things that are happening. The countdown for drip, drop, draw, which is like a layer 2 for drip. Okay. The countdown started. We're expecting that to launch Tuesday in the US, Wednesday over here in the Philippines and in Australia. Very, very bullish on what's going to be happening and how that's going to affect the price of drip, etc. Because I mean, drip at the moment is probably at its all-time low. Okay, great time to get in. I was in on day one and I rode the wave all the way up to $201. Okay. $201. It's now sitting at 20 cents or 21 cents at the moment. Okay. But again, great time to get in. And the thing is that it's had a history of like 2.5 years, zero exploits. It's still been paying out 1% a day continually for the whole 2.5 years. Okay, 1% a day of your deposit. So, you know, obviously that's 1% of your actual deposit in drip tokens. It's not 1% of the amount of money that you put in the beginning. But if you play your cards right and use the right strategies, you're always going to profit and reap the benefits and the rewards of it. And now with these new use cases, layer 2s, the community is building other use cases and utilities for it as well. We are as well. On my side, as a dev, we're doing that as well. And it's just bullish. I just know that it's going to go even further than, you know, yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
I'll have to drill in and look at the website and white paper if there is any, or whatever documentation there's.
Yeah, man.
What it is.
Absolutely. And you know, you and I we can jump on Zoom at any time, man, and I can walk you through it step by step, and you'll see the benefits. And most of these people that are watching out there right now, they're all drip maxis. You know, some of them came in at like, you know, really high dollar value, but they're still being able to strategize and you know, turn it into a very profitable thing. So because it's really based on compound interest. Okay. So you're compounding. So yeah. You know, you heard like Blue Chip, he's got how many max wallets already? You know, and when did you start again, bro?
I started in February of 2022.
Okay, so you came in after the major parabolic rise, right? So
yeah. It was around $130.
Yeah. See, $130. And a lot of the guys, same thing, 130, 120. You know, I was fortunate enough to come in on day one at $7.70. And I saw it from $7.70 go to $12. And then it went boom. We had that was April. And then May, we had that first bit of a bear and everything just dumped. That was May 2021. And then it sat down at $2 something, and it stayed there for like 4 or 5 weeks, and everyone was like, holy shit, what's going on? You know? And then after that, there was other utilities that started to come in, and there was announcements, and this thing just went freaking mad from $2 something in May to, you know, around $3-4 in June, and then it just went crazy all the way up to $59. And then it came back down. This is in the space of a few days. $59 came back down, and then sat around 21 for ages, and then went back up, and it was just absolutely crazy until $201 is what it hit, and then it's been like up and down since then. But there hasn't been much activity outside of the community, and now it's starting to come back in. So I don't think we'll ever see that $201 mark, not in the near future. Okay. But if you look at it at percentages wise, if you're getting in now, right, all it needs to do is go to $5-10, and you're still in the same kind of position as you would have been if you came in like on day one and when it hit 201.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you can said 201. It's what, 20 cents now? You said
it's at 21, 22 cents right now. Right. So something like that. So yeah. You know, the more you can buy so much more drip. I remember I did a video way back. I think it was about August or something. And one of the accounts, I mean, I've got multiple accounts. Okay. And each one has different personalities. You know, I use some for growing. I use some for paying taxes. I use some for like family holidays. I use some for like my daily expenses, etc. Right. But I remember I had an account there when I did that stream or that video, and I had like 500 drip tokens, and it was worth like $13,000 or something.
Wow.
Right. And I remember seeing my accounts back then, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 per account.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you look at 1% a day of that.
Not too shabby.
Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. And now being able to buy a lot more drip for a lot lower price, and then we see the price appreciation from here moving forward, it's going to be freaking nuts, man. Yeah, absolutely freaking nuts. So there you go.
Right on.
Blue Chip, jump in anytime you want to, man. Let's talk about your drip stuff, and then we're definitely going to get onto F.A.T E, because I'm really super interested about that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Go, brother.
Well, of course, the mentality when you come in when it's high is you're like, well, I'm going to come in, put X amount of money in and hydrate or compound for 90 days and then start taking profit. And then when the price starts going down, the majority of the people, what they call the herd, start panicking and dumping and selling. Yeah. I felt like that was a good opportunity to build the position. I was listening to Stunna Breezy and Jamie from Passive Income Online, and their message was, you want to build enough accounts that you don't care what the price is. And that made sense to me because the price is not always going to be high. Right. So I just said, well, I'm going to focus on getting a max wallet and then building out more wallets, like yourself. And so you don't care if the price is 10 cents, 20 cents, or $1. And that's what I've been focusing on.
What's a max wallet?
And
what's the amount of tokens?
Well, each wallet, right? You can have a max payout of 100,000 drip tokens. Okay, that's a max payout. But when they talk about max wallet, it's 27,390 roughly. Okay, coins in your deposit, because at that point, at 27,300 odd, okay, you no longer need to compound because you already got your max payout. Okay, so because it's based on 365%, so 27,300 tokens roughly times 365% is 100,000 tokens.
Right.
Okay, the max you can ever take out is 100,000 tokens. So it's really, I don't know what that is in dollar figure. Now someone out there in the chats can talk about it and tell us, like, what how much does it cost to actually buy a max wallet at this point? So I'm sure someone out there can tell us that. But yeah, it's if you have
it's like $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, it's not really a lot, considering back then, when I was doing it back then. I mean, a max wallet, you're looking at like huge amounts of money.
You said it's $7 when you got in, correct?
Yeah, I got in at $7.70.
Yeah, that's a big difference from 20 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And then you look at the guys that came in at like 100 and something bucks, $150.
Right.
I think I started my first drip account. I only started with $19, not 19 coins.
Okay.
Right. And then obviously now I've got like multiples. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So it's about $6,000. So Gary's just saying there, it's about 6,000 ish to buy a max wallet. But as a max wallet, you can then from there you can actually airdrop your daily. You're still getting daily rewards from that 1% every day. Mm-hmm. So you can actually then airdrop out that into creating new wallets, or you can just claim it and start selling it from day one.
Gotcha.
So start taking profits on it. So yeah, everyone's got different strategies, obviously. But at the end of the day, it all works, man. It's so secure. It's just amazing. It's continually paying out 1% a day.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But I'll definitely I'll talk to you about that on Zoom. We'll do a Zoom and I'll explain it all to you.
Sure.
Okay. For me, it's all about just sharing the blessings. My YouTube channel has never been about like getting people to jump on board and come on my team or whatever. It's never been about that. It's just about sharing the blessings and helping the community as a whole. So, we did we talked about it on Crypto Unlimited. We talked about it on their stream this morning about we did a Christmas giveaway with Brandon Drip Guide and Kelly and like quite a few of us were on there. We gave away thousands of dollars worth of drip just as Christmas presents to random people.
Wow.
That was absolutely awesome, man.
That's
it
cool.
felt good to do it. And
we'll
do it again this coming Christmas. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great.
Did you wear a Santa outfit?
No.
Maybe something for this year.
It could be. It could be. I could dress up Papa Smurf to look like Santa.
There you go.
You never ever know. So I'll just bring up a couple more of these. Hey, Defi Diva, hey, shout out to you. Thanks again. She was on the stream last week. 3 max wallets, 2 more by November. See, this is just crazy, right? 3 max wallets. That's beautiful. God, it's that daily 1% to grow everything. Yes, absolutely. Very sexy, Tony. Yeah, there's just so many other things that add to the ecosystem as well. So it's beautiful. Yeah, Crypto Unlimited, over 2 years old, paying 1% per day nonstop. So when you look at that, it's code. Okay, as you know, as a dev, it's code.
Yeah.
I trust code more than I trust people.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to put it is just in terms of math, right? Math is is like the only thing where there's an absolute truth to it, right? There's no wrong. There's no middle ground. It's either right or it's wrong. If the math works, the math works.
Yeah.
There's nothing in life like that at all. So when you say that you trust code more than people, then that's why.
Definitely.
Right? There's no room for human error.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as the code is correct to start with, as long as the human doesn't create malicious code or code with a bunch of errors, if the code is done well and the math is right, it's gonna tick like a clock and not stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. So we've got like 20 people watching at the moment. That's absolutely awesome. People are talking about here like Drip Garden. That's another thing. Over $1 trillion Drip Garden, Big Garden, 68 billion. So that's another thing we can go into in future contact like you and I will have in the very near future. I'll go into that with you. I'll explain it with you. Sure. Again, never to push anything onto you. Like there's never any pressure, but hey, man, it's like having you on the show here today, right? Guys out there, just know, okay, this is not me endorsing Wes. Hear me out. This is not me endorsing you.
That's fine.
This is me giving an opportunity for people to go, hey, there is other stuff out there, okay? And I'm giving you an opportunity to talk about what you're doing. And obviously, man, I've invited you on, so I'm looking into it myself, all right? But it's never a financial advice. It's never about, hey, jump into this. It's never about that, okay? But, yeah. Blue Chip, brother, what do you think? Are you open to other things, man? Are you open to other things? I mean, I know you're a Drip Maxi. I understand that,
Oh, definitely. When I first jumped into Drip, my team leader, he was in about 6 or 7 other things, and I was like, get me in there. He's like, nah, it's too risky. And I went off on my own, and I jumped into Splash and Star Nodes. Yeah. And I got wrecked in those 2 things. Then I started whining, and my son was like, Dad, you're in Drip. My son's in Drip. He'll have a max wallet, his first max wallet in about I think 2 or 3 weeks. But
wow,
he's a dev also.
Okay.
And he said you really need to study on Forex more. And I remember we were driving back from Mexico to South Carolina, and I asked my wife to drive, and for about 2 hours I did nothing but watch AMAs of Forex Shark. And after that, I went hardcore Drip after that. But I'm definitely open to other things. There's other stuff out there. I realize that.
Yeah, I think we need to. It's not about competing. It's about collaborating and diversifying into things. I mean, the old adage of don't put all your eggs in one basket is, that's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to be comparing. I mean, obviously, like even with what Wes is doing, we're not comparing apples to apples. It's not like get away from this to get into this. It's like, hey, you're already in this. What? Just diversify into something else as well. Everything has cycles and everything has its ups and downs. So if you've got something over here, there's a little bit of a down at the moment, you've got something else that's still supporting you, right? And vice versa. So, there's Man, there's no project, and this is speaking as a dev as well. There's no project that is 100% like perfect.
Right.
We can't say that. It's impossible to say that.
That goes for big business in the real world, like companies like Google and Facebook. I mean, they try lots of different things, but they don't succeed at everything. Google, really, the only thing that they've really truly succeeded at is search. Search is still very much the foundation of their business. If they didn't have search, they'd be very much a different company.
Yep. Absolutely.
They got Android, obviously, which helps, and they have all the YouTube, which helps, but search is Google's business, and they haven't really been able to escape that much outside of it.
Are you using AI?
I've been playing with it. Yeah.
So like Google Bard. Okay, right. Google Bard AI. And, guys out there, I know most of you like with the American accent and stuff like that. My Aussie accent, like I don't roll the R, right? So it's Google Bard for me. And people go, what? Right? But Google Bard, for example, I'm playing around with Google Bard, but you know, I use the other one a lot more.
Okay. Yeah, I can't use Google Bard because it's not available in Canada. So I'm stuck with ChatGPT.
I was surprised that, man, I got sent the invite. I'm like, oh, okay, let's check this out. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe because of my YouTube presence, because obviously it's with Google as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting things like I got one the other day, which was Google something or other. It was about business spaces and stuff like that. And I mean, I hardly use Google. I mean, I'm a Microsoft guy really when it comes to like my you know, my apps doing my stuff, you know. So I use Microsoft stuff, but for my docs and things like that. So I thought, okay, well, this is interesting. I'm getting an invite. So I'm getting all these invites, which is great. And I play around with them. But yeah, so if you look at that, like AI, Google Bard, yes, it has merits, but I still prefer to use ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah, I haven't been able to use Bard to compare, but the things I've done with ChatGPT are pretty interesting. I've taken some old code of mine, for example. Yeah. And I've given it to ChatGPT and had it translate it into a different language. And outside of a couple of lines, I mean, it almost does it perfectly.
Yeah. Like, absolutely. And it can detect errors and shit in your code.
Sure. Yeah.
Again, I trust code more than I do people, man.
But it's ChatGPT is not the same as trusting code because it's wrong a lot. You know,
well, it is. It is.
And you got to know to look for that. But I mean, it's still amazing technology regardless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big voice was supposed to be joining us today, but he's like offline, which is really unusual. And I know Lucky was supposed to be, but regardless, man, I just love having you guys on the stream here, and I totally appreciate that you've accepted the invitation. Blue, you've been trying to get on here with me for a while now, and just experiencing some technical issues, but you know, it's just going to get better and better. Blue Chip Drip, I'm pretty sure I put you in the description as well, and Wes, I did put your Telegram down in the description too. I put your Blue Chip, I put your YouTube channel there. And Wes, I put in the Telegram group link down in the bottom in the description as well for that. So so there you go. We'll get back to the drip thing in a bit, but for the others out there, Wes, I want you to kind of like introduce us to your thing. You know, I think that's going to be really interesting.
Sure.
You know? And feel free, you can share your screen, which we've already got that set up there. But if you want to give people a bit of an intro and introduction, what it is that you're trying to do, and then we can, you can share your screen later or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll turn the screen on here in a second. The project that I'm a part of, that I'm CEO and dev of, is called F.A.T E LABZ, or F.A.T E, which can be used as an acronym for Financial Assets and Tokenized Ecosystem.
Okay.
And we've got quite a lot on the burners, so we're pretty ambitious with what we're building. There's a lot of moving parts, but in the simplest terms that we can explain, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to create tools and services, or utilities and services, that allow you, a content creator, or anybody else that uses the internet, to kind of reclaim their value. And what I mean by that is not just money. I mean the content we create, the data that you create, all the different metrics that are created off of your back, which basically you're handing over almost for free, if not for completely free, to companies like Google, YouTube, Facebook, etc. People have been trying to figure out how to build a decentralized social media. I mean, ever since I got into the space, I've seen that kind of rhetoric, but nobody's really cracked that nut, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we really feel like we can be the ones to crack that nut.
Okay.
We've got a lot of different approaches with how we're building things. We're not trying to be the next Facebook. We're not trying to be the next Twitter. We're trying to do things legitimately different and solve actual problems, because we see on social networks they're just ripe with problems. Whether you're talking about the spam, the hacks, the scams and the ads, the crap that happens on social media. It's almost incalculable. And these networks do nothing about it. Why? Because it's not in their interest. They make more money if they do nothing, if they just turn a blind eye. Because if they have to put in quality controls of any kind, that means that they're going to have to pay people to do that, as well as they're going to lose customers. So they're losing on two sides. So they do nothing. And we feel that there's a better way to do it. So if we can share my screen, or if you could turn that on.
Yep. Here, I'll pop it up on the screen there for you, man.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah. So everything that we build is based on what we call our three pillars, right? Personal finance, intellectual property, and digital assets, and personal metadata and data. And we've got a number of services and websites that we're building around these three pillars. The first one we launched last year. It's called 3Pay. And we've got a live beta on it right now. 3pay.2 is the domain. And it's a crypto payment solution. And it combines it with a social hub. So you can collect all your social links in one place, and at the same time incorporate crypto and be able to accept crypto in the form of ETH, BNB, Matic, AVAX. There's nine different supported chains there, right? And then we've recently relaunched our token with what we call F.A.T.E Shield, which is basically it's a new way to look at NFTs, and we'll get into the specifics of that as we go. But the token we just relaunched, we're doing pretty good as far as the token is concerned. We launched with a 246K market cap. Currently, we're sitting at just over $1 million. So that's about a month, just over a month into it. That's been going pretty good. And then when we get to the what we call the IVNs, this is really what we're really interested in right now, because this is the vehicle that delivers on everything that we're talking about as far as you being able to reclaim your value and monetize your own content and take control of everything. Effectively, if you look at the NFT space, right? NFTs are interesting, but they're not being done correctly, and you see that everywhere. You pay a mint fee with X amount of dollars. In this example, it's $100. Your only way to make money off of that NFT is if you're able to resell it. You can buy if you find somebody able to buy it, right? That's the only way you make money. Otherwise, you're stuck with just an image, literally just an image that has very little, if no utility at all. So what we've done is we've flipped that and changed it so that rather than the dev getting the entire mint fee, you get a rebate of 60%. Okay. And that rebate is like a liquidity that gets paired directly with your NFT. We call it IVN for intrinsically valued NFT, right? So it has a value that's backed one-to-one, that's redeemable at any time, right? So if you decide you can't sell it, or you don't have time to sell it, you can literally go to the contract or go to our F.A.T.E Shield and redeem it right there on the spot without having to worry about listing it or selling it on the marketplace. Okay.
Interesting.
We've taken it even a step further by adding appreciation aspects to the IVN itself. So you start off at your initial value, which is 60% of what your mint fee is, but then from there that value accumulates. And it accumulates through a series of different kinds of actions, what we call actions. Actions can be liking something, can be commenting on something, can be playing for a bounty. I'll explain that in a little bit. When people mint, when people redeem, any kind of interaction that happens within the token or the IVN helps appreciate your specific IVN. Okay. So it's always going up in value. It's never going down based on the underlying asset. So in the case of BNB, for example, you're always going to gain more BNB. You're never going to lose. It's always going to be up, right? And that's based on this distribution that happens, because when you do a mint, you have your 60% rebate, but then 15% goes to distributed appreciation across all IBNs. 5% goes to a bounty fund, which is like a prize pool, so that users can win money as they're performing different actions. And then we have token buybacks, and then the treasury gets a small percentage. And the same kind of tokenomics plays through the whole series of transactions, right? We front load all the value, or most of the value gets front loaded to the holders, either directly through appreciation or through the bounty or through the buybacks, right? The treasury takes a modest percentage. It's not that this system is not designed for the treasury itself to be solely sufficient just on this fact alone. Because with the token and with the IBNs or NFTs, we're building real businesses and real tools and services that generate real revenue, right? The volume on the token and the volume on the IBN is not, it can't be the only source of revenue. There has to be other sources, right? You look at Google, you look at YouTube, you look at Facebook. I mean, these social media companies are generating upwards of $500 billion a year, right? Yep. We only have to capture a small fraction of the market to make this viable. And that's what we're looking to do. So when you talk about posting to social media or posting to and sharing, your content, if you do it through an IBN, then you have an opportunity to monetize the views. You have an opportunity to monetize how many people like your material. So the more people that like your stuff, the more value that you directly gain to that IBN or that piece of content. Same with comments and same with shares. And the interesting thing about it is that we incentivize people to like and share and comment by making what we call a split bounty. So every time somebody likes something, they're giving themselves a chance to win money as well as the thing that they're liking.
Okay.
And if they hit that bounty, then it splits it between the user and the IBN.
Sweet.
Yeah. So eventually, and before I get into that, this is something that I was going to take out of the pitch deck. I lose a lot of people when I get into this stuff because I'm pretty detailed. I'm pretty detailed.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of this stuff, there's simpler ways to explain it. We're trying to improve the way that we explain it. But this point really drives home something important. When we talk about value, what do people value, right? How do we determine value? Because value can be subjective. It can be based off cost. It can be based off market. It can be based on whether or not you like something or not. A lot of people question whether or not even the NFTs or any of this stuff has any value. And I'm going to say that it absolutely does. And here, this page is why. Because the amount of money that we all collectively spend using the internet, right? The devices that we have, the power for those devices, the data connection to keep that device connected to the internet. It all works out to about 2 cents a minute. And we spend about a third of our lives we spend on the internet right now.
Yes.
That's almost as much as we sleep. And it works out to about 15.3% of the global GDP just for us to have a phone and connect to the internet and spend 28.8% of our time using Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google and all these quote unquote free services, right? Free services that we're paying for, and then we're actually paying more for it by dumping our content and giving them our intellectual property for basically nothing.
Yes.
So I really think it's an important point to drive home, even though it's sometimes people get lost up in the details. And eventually, we want to roll all these actions to become IBN actions so that everything can be monetized through IBNs, right? Whether we're posting content, whether we're viewing it, watching it, reacting, subscribing on, tipping people, all of these different actions that we currently do right now will be somehow monetized through the IBNs, right? So we're not trying to kind of build a whole new business model. The business model has already been proven. The problem is that all the value is being hoarded by the top companies, and it's not being fairly distributed. It's pretty tough to become a content creator because you have to meet certain thresholds before you can even generate a dime. Here, that's not the case. Here, you can generate revenue from day one. If your content is good and people like it, you should be able to monetize it. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just an overview of how the value appreciates, where the revenue is coming from. Like I said, we've got products and services which are gonna drive revenue, partners, what we call sub IBNs, which is if people want to launch their own NFT collections using our platform, then we'll help promote them and we'll help them out, and then we get a small percentage. of the treasury fees only. And it's important to highlight that we only get a percentage of the treasury fees. We don't take value from the holders at all, right? So all the percentages that we take are all based on just the treasury for that dev alone. We don't mix in the holder value because we want those projects to succeed, right? We want all the projects that run IVNs or sub IVNs to succeed. We've got a few different collections that we're working on ourselves. We're going to be supporting 23 different chains with the IVNs and with 3Pay and the various services that we're offering. We've got a multitude of smart contracts that we're writing to manage all these various things that we're talking about. And that's pretty much the scope of it. I mean, this is just a kind of a mock-up of 3Pay and how the IVNs will integrate into that. But that's a really quick run through. I think quicker than the quickest one I've done so far of this entire deck.
No, that's good though. That's good. Again, you know, like obviously I've got to look into it more, wrap my head around it a lot more. But you know, basically, at least look, we're exposing it to people out there, right? Giving people the opportunity to look further into it. And you know, man, I'm excited for you. I just on face value of what you've just shown me now, I see great benefit in it. You know, again, guys, this is like not financial advice. I'm not officially endorsing what Wes is doing, but not to say that I don't suggest it either, right? It's you know, I think it's great, man.
I mean, we think that it's the way NFT should have been in the first place. I was in a conversation there the other day, and I mean, the comment that was made was that basically, you know, if you look at it from this perspective, if you're in a situation right now with NFTs where you're paying 100% and getting nothing back, and your only ability is to sell it in order for you to get that value back, or you start off with something where you're actually starting off and you're getting a rebate of most of that mint fee back. So you're literally starting off with some pool of liquidity that's dedicated specifically for your IVN or for your NFT. It's a better place to start, right? I mean, even if we weren't able to drive any volume at all, it's a better place to start because you're not going to zero, right? And that's the whole point, right? Is IVNs prevent anybody from going to zero. And that becomes even more important when you start talking about influencers or celebrities or athletes who have been burned by associating themselves with crypto projects, right? Because people lose everything, something, the DevRugs or whatever. This prevents that from happening, right? So it helps those people possibly protect their reputations from being completely obliterated because they associated themselves with the wrong project and that dev ran away with the money.
So anyone out there in the chats, you've just seen that. Please post your questions. Please post your questions while we've got Wes here on the call and on the line, and ask away. Ask away. You know, for me, again, I'm still wrapping my head around it. I love the concept. I love the concept. So you're getting some feedback here already, right? Great concept. Thank you for sharing, Mr. Long.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. And again, guys, he's here. The man's here. Ask away. Blue Chip, you got anything to comment on that, man? What do you think?
Well, I'm trying to remember how to say intrinsically valued non-fungible token.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot more complex than you know, what we're used to. I mean, like with drip, you just, you know, you don't have to understand so much about it. You know, it's a simple like compound or claim, you know. So
and to be fair, I mean, obviously we're early on in this project, and what we're building right now is the foundation, right?
Yes.
Everything that we're talking about as far as social media is concerned, when we get to that point, it has to be simple. Like people can't have to even think about this. They're just thinking about posting and sharing whatever content they want.
Yes.
So this is just the fundamental layer and the vehicle that's going to deliver on that. But ultimately, we know that this has to be simplified. That the user interface and how people interact with our tools and services, that has to be easy. It has to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for like onboarding people onto this onto your system, there, you know, it has to be simple. You know, I think someone said quite a while ago, you know, that we're in a space, in the DeFi space, we're pretty much just recirculating the users. Okay. Like, for example, people that are in ARC now have come from Drip, and people that are in Drip, a lot of them have come from Flow, et cetera, because that's that ROI DApp kind of space that we're in, you know, which most of the users here are from. So, you know, we're very familiar with that side of things. So now we've got to look at onboarding new people. Hence the Blocks Media project that we have at the moment, where we're teaching people about, you know, the basics of crypto, basics of like understanding blockchain, et cetera, so they're armed with knowledge before we actually bring them into, you know, taking their first steps into crypto or DeFi space. So, you know, it has to be simple. I mean, for example, this, okay, I'm wrapping my head around it now, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are as well. But you've got like, you know, coiners that would go, whoa, man, this is like way out there. I have no idea, because unfortunately that's the general consensus of a lot of the public out there, is that, man, crypto, whether it's a scam, so they say, okay, because they don't understand it, or two, that's really just for those business people that you know, come from the corporate world or whatever, and they understand finance, et cetera, right? Whereas, you know, the majority of people don't have that kind of mentality, you know?
Right.
So
I mean, crypto itself is pretty complicated for the average person.
It is.
And,
it is.
You know,
but
the
it's
way
here
that
to
we,
stay.
for sure. And the way we think about this is that ultimately all of the stuff that we're talking about right now, you're not going to see. It has to be behind the scenes. It has to be like the motor of a car. You don't see the motor.
Yeah.
You know, it moves the vehicle, sure, but it's, you know, people will be using a Twitter-like or a Facebook-like interface to post a picture. They're not going to understand or have to see any of this.
Yeah.
Right.
I just take this off.
All they have to know is that when they post a photo, they get to make money off of it, and that's all they care about.
There you go. There's a question from Gary. Is it an integrating vehicle or standalone?
I think the question, to answer the question, I'm not quite sure I understand the question, but I think he's asking if we're using anything else or if it's standalone. So I'm going to say it's standalone. This is completely ground up. We haven't forked or copied anything. So it's a completely unique solution. However, we are looking to integrate into other projects. So if you have an NFT collection that you're looking to launch, you know, sub-IVN is a perfect way to launch that collection, right? Because it gives you a better vehicle to be able to bring in money to help the project grow, to market the project, help operations.
You know, back to the onboarding.
Yep.
Sorry, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Go, brother.
You know, back to the onboarding. On the onboarding, I mean, Drip is considered one of the simplest, basic protocols out there, but to a no coiner, they can't grasp it either. I mean, I've been talking to people about Drip, and they're like, well, the price is low, and how do you know it's going to go up? And I'll say something like, well, G Money said that they're finished testing and they're going to roll out DDD. And they're like, G Money, what are you, in a cartoon world? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah,
you know, it's a whole nother world, you know?
There you go. Hey, bro, is Louis part of your team?
He is.
He can jump on if he wants.
I don't think he's going to do that. I'm just going to go out on the limb.
Oh, okay. Hey, Louis, it's a big shout out to you, man. From Alaktrician Man. I'm sending an invite. Well, Wes, feel free to send him the invite if he wants to jump on. So that'd be awesome to have somebody else on as well that understands it, right?
I tried to get a couple of my guys there, but they were busy tonight, unfortunately. So
doesn't need to have the cam. Look, no cam, bro. You don't need to have a cam, brother. You can use your avatar or just be the L on the screen if you want to talk about it. That would be great, you know. But yeah, Blue Chip, exactly right. You know, there's people I know that have been in. Just got a couple of other people messaging me here. Yeah, I mean, there's people that I've got in Drip, and
there's an interesting question that I want to actually address.
Yes.
Gary V2 is asking, what's your angle for adoption? Very David and Goliath like situation. And I mean, that's a great question. It's a true statement. I feel like I'm personally not intimidated by the whole situation whatsoever. The bigger the challenge, the more I want to do it. So that's one part. But to answer his point, I think if you stick your ear to the ground and you listen to people, a lot of content creators are complaining about YouTube. A lot of people are complaining about Facebook. They're complaining about these platforms. These platforms are robbing people of their value, and they're starting to realize it.
Yeah.
And so I think if you give people the option, MySpace was, the social network until it wasn't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. And every once in a while, things roll around and something changes. There's a massive shift and everybody moves to a whole new platform. And that's where they stay for the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that we're going to be that platform, but I feel like it's worth a shot. And
absolutely,
we've got enough business model and enough mechanisms to generate revenue that can help us get there.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a process of time. And just building things out and sticking to it and just keeping your eyes on the road. Don't get too caught up in the fact that you're fighting Goliath, right? Just go after it.
Yep. Absolutely. We have a similar thing coming up on us in Drip, developing through Forex with their own super chat system.
Okay.
There you go. I don't know a lot about it. Gary, you know what? I'm going to call out to you, bro. Gary, jump on here. Jump on the stream. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to do anything like that, but jump on, man. Jump on. DM me again on TG and I'll send you the link. Come on, man. You can do it. You're here every week. All right. I'll get you on here. Yeah. So there you go, man. Again, I'm super interested in it. And yeah, who cares? Who cares who you're up against? And reality is, if you're adding to the system, the whole system, if you're adding to it, that's a great thing.
Well, I think it's more about solving problems. If you're solving problems, then that's what makes money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big or small you are, right? If you solve the right problem, you're going to make money. And that's really how I view things. And you can look at Google and you can look at Facebook, you can look at all these big companies. There's lots of problems that they don't seem incentivized at all to fix. Right?
Yep.
So if we can fix some of these problems and come up with some real solutions, I think we can move the needle.
Hang on. Give me a second. I'm now getting here. Here we go. We're going to get a couple. I think Louis is going to jump on. Maybe. This will be interesting. Yeah. So I've just sent out. Gary may jump on, and also hopefully Louis as well, because I'd love to have him on. There's Gary. Gary, my man, are you there? He's still connecting. He's on mute. You're on mute, bro. There you go. I'm muted now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
How's it going, Gary?
Yeah, don't be shy. You're on here, brother. We can hear you. Can you hear us? Anyway, we'll see. There's Panadol, great to see you out there again. LCM, yeah, man, everyone out there, just go, hey, Gary. So do that. You want to expand on that? Can you hear us, bro? Are you out there? Don't be shy.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There you go. Speak up, my brother. Thank you for joining us, man.
No problem. I love what y'all are doing. I love this channel.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I love you.
Man, I'm gonna do an Alak-Azul just for you, brother.
I don't think that's for me.
Oh.
Don't blame me for your Alak-Azul. That's you.
Mahal kita walang tay.
What? No, blue chip. What are you talking about? No, sir.
You said I love you. I said mahal kita walang tay.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you are.
No, I did love what Wesley was talking about, but that David Goliath thing just popped up because it's so hard just to get your foot in the door in a lot of things, gatekeeping and habitual people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I see it every day, just through our own little ecosystem. And as I said, that just to expound on what Forex, he bought a super chat system because he's very sick of seeing our YouTubers and Twitch and content creators. Everybody, they're taking so much of a.
Yeah, and people spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
You broke up, Gary, but people spend a lot of time creating content, man. You know, they invest a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources. Sometimes with they set up a studio or, you know, I mean, and for Google and for I mean, that ain't cheap. You know, so you should be able to, if you're creating good content, you should be able to monetize it from day one. Yeah. There shouldn't be these thresholds, right? But these thresholds are in place for the same reason that if you start a new job, they hold your paycheck, right? Because they want to make money off you first.
Yeah.
Before they cut you in on the action, and then they decide how much they're going to give you, right? And it's just I think we've outgrown that. I think the internet has outgrown that. There's so many talented creators out there doing all kinds of great things. And people are getting sick of the gatekeeping, like you said.
Yeah.
I think it's important probably to make that model dynamic too. Because just as life is everything, it all changes constantly. For sure.
Yeah.
As you're saying, you got a third of your day spent on the internet in some form or capacity. Yeah. That didn't happen a year, 2, 5 ago, and it changes so much. Yet you're trying to keep these numbers healthy. It gets into the real world where, you know, like the gas and oil companies, they've had this tax and tariff and state taxes on your gas. But that doesn't change, and they get richer and richer, and each year their profits are going up, and the gas keeps going up.
Quarter after quarter,
it's the same exact thing for this.
Yeah.
Google and Facebook and Instagram and all these places, they're not getting poorer, not every year.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's part of our world now, though, right? I mean, you know, crypto's here to stay. It's, you know, blockchain is the present and the future. And, you know, it's like internet, man, when internet first came out, everyone was like, shit, what's this? I don't want to get involved in this.
The internet, that's the funny thing. Yeah. Crypto has a lot of parallels with the internet itself.
Yeah.
Like the dot-com bubble, I think it was like $3 trillion that went poof, you know?
Yeah.
And people for the longest time thought the internet was a scam. They didn't want to put their credit card number in. Now they'll put their credit card into anything.
Yep.
Right. So
exactly.
It's, you know, I remember talking to businesses back in those days, trying to convince them they needed a website. And they're like, what do I need a website for? I've got a Yellow Pages ad. Right. Yeah. I'm listed in the phone book. And now you can't, you know, you don't have a business if you don't have a website effectively. So
absolutely.
Things do change. And I think what you're seeing with the crypto space and all these meme coins is very similar to what you saw in the early .com bubble, right? You had a lot of these silly companies popping up. People are just playing around. But there's going to be a phase that's coming where people buckle down and start to really narrow in on the things that are useful, the things that mean something.
Well, you know, it's interesting you mentioned websites, because actually that's where I came from as well. We were developing websites for people, and back in the day, SEO was called web positioning.
Correct.
Right, web positioning, and I ranked #1 in the world on every single search engine at that time as web designer and web developer. Right, and that was like many years ago.
Right.
And you know, there were so many websites that were being built for people that were absolutely useless.
100%.
The whole idea was like, oh, build it and they'll come. And that was not the case. It was not the case, you know.
You had to figure out how to drive traffic.
Website, even today, there's a lot of websites out there which are nothing more than a glorified business card.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so, you know, there's just so much that goes into it, you know, the maintaining of it, management of it, like using your website to create sales funnels and, you know, capturing email addresses and doing like marketing and things like that. You know, there's just so much involved in it. It's no longer a case of, man, yeah, I got a website. That's awesome. How many people have visited your website?
Right.
And how much business have you actually got from having your website?
Right.
None. So then the mentality was, oh shit, I spend all this money on a website. It doesn't work. Same as crypto. Oh, I spent all this money on crypto and I lost money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't been taught the right way to use it.
Right. Well, and that's to that point, that's part of why YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram are so popular, is because mainstream people and most of the population, they don't know how to build websites. They're not putting up their own content. They need a vehicle so that they can just click a button and upload that photo.
Yeah.
Right. So those websites, they accelerate that and allow people to. TikTok is a great example. A lot of people think that TikTok is popular because of the short little clips. It's more about the creation tools, in my opinion. It's so easy to create nice little production quality videos. Like add little things, like they make it so easy. The tools are so easy. That's what it helps people express themselves. And the moment you can do that and you let people express themselves, it creates a flood of content. And once you have that flood of content, you have a flood of consumers for that content.
Yeah.
So the more you can make it easy for the user to use, the better off everybody is. Which goes back to the point that I was saying earlier, how everything that I've shown you is kind of the bones, right? You're not seeing any meat on the bone. You're seeing the bare bone infrastructure of of the foundation that's going to be, you know, holding everything up. But eventually, you're not going to see any of this. You're just going to see a button and post a picture, right?
Yeah. I'm not on TikTok yet.
I mean, TikTok right now. TikTok. If you're looking for news and what's going on around you, I mean, with the least amount of censorship, in my opinion, TikTok is the place to find it.
There you go.
I find that you get, there's a lot of really good information on there. I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff on there too. Don't get it twisted. But this is the internet. There's stupid stuff in every corner.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, but TikTok, I mean, it's definitely, from a censorship perspective, they definitely keep it pretty open from what I can tell.
Even here, there's stupid stuff. I mean, dude, where can you see a guy increasing his subscriber base just by drinking some fucking blue alcohol? Alak-Azul. Right? But we do. I mean, look, I spent a year and a half away. But I'm back, and now look, there's how many people watching, and we're getting lots of viewers every week and stuff. So it's awesome. Alak-Azul, guys.
Alak-Azul.
I think actually the first meeting I had with you was we were on Zoom. It was actually after one of my live streams. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and so I'd had quite a few drinks by the time.
I think you had quite a few of those Alak-Azuls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you know, so I apologize for that, but
that's all right. That's all right. That was an informal meeting.
And in actual fact, I remember our conversation. I totally remember our conversation. But the next day, I woke up and I've gone, "What's this F.A.T.E LABZ? Why do I have this F.A.T.E?" I couldn't remember where it came from. I knew I had conversation with you. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things. But I mean, I'd been going all day, and because obviously, you know, my viewer base and my contact base is actually pretty diverse. So I'm in the Philippines. Right. I'm on GMT +8. You know, we've got the guys in Australia, which are 2 hours ahead of me. Then we've got everyone in the US, which is in totally different time zone to me. And you know, it's quite difficult sometimes. Obviously, you know, you go from CST, EST, and PST. There's totally different time frames as well there. Yeah. And even in Australia, there's lots of different time zones. And then I've got my European people as well, which I am going to start doing another stream in my evening to be able to meet up with the people in the European areas, European zones in the UK and stuff like that. Because unfortunately, this time of the day is perfect for Australia, good for a lot of people in the US, but the people in Europe, they're in bed counting sheep, you know. Like,
yeah,
you know,
you almost do need like two kind of show times to catch the whole world as far as audience.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's again, I was on the stream with Crypto Unlimited 22 earlier, and I had Brandon Drip Guide on there, and you know, we talked about the first time I had Forex Shark on my live stream. And Forex Shark, where's Forex Shark? He's the guy that created Drip. Okay. So, and I remember we've been trying to tie up a stream with him for a couple of weeks because he was like really busy. And then I get a message from Brandon. It was like 2-3 in the morning for me. I was just about to go to bed, and he goes, "Bro, it's go time." You know, I'm like, oh my God. And I'd only had like a couple of hours sleep the night before. I'd been up since like 4 or 5 in the morning, and it was the next morning already. I'm like, holy shit. Okay. So jump in the shower and have quite a few coffees and stuff. And then, Forex came and we did the stream at like a 4 a.m. my time. Right. It would have been about 4 or 5 a.m. my time.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we did like a 4-hour stream.
Wow.
Yeah. So at the end of it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling asleep, but I got to stay on this. Yeah. And then I ended up going to sleep. I think it was about 11 o'clock or something that morning. And I slept for the whole day. It was just so, you know, that's how it was. And that's probably why I took a break away from the space as well, is because, I mean, literally, because I'm dealing with people in all different parts of the world. You know, I was literally surviving on 2 hours, 3 hours sleep a night. It was pretty, you know, and I did that for a good year and a half. And then I just thought, nah, man, I've got to, I just can't focus anymore. I've got to take that time away. And, you know, it was like, I tell people that I'm living off passive income, but this is just not passive income, right? Mm-hmm. It is passive income, but I'm here 18 to 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'm at home. I'm at home. I see my kids every day, et cetera, et cetera. But really, I'm at home and I'm here in my studio.
It's still work.
It's
still work. You know,
I mean, yes, I'm retired from it, but I'm not really. Retirement is about not having to work, right? I don't have to work. Actually, this is all by choice. Right.
Well, I mean, so myself, I mean, I've been working, you know, ridiculous hours my entire life, right? 3-4 hours of sleep every night. I've been doing that for the better part of 30 years. Yeah. Right. But it's easy to do if you like what you do. Yeah. So to your point, you're retired, but you're not, because you're still doing things. It's just you're doing the stuff that you want to do. Right? Exactly. And if you can get paid for doing stuff that you love to do, all the better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I mean, it's like, you know, I could get off this stream now and then never jump on again. Right. Sure. So I know that's well, I'm blessed to be in that position. You got to, man, because like, I mean, you look at it, you look at traditional work and you look at traditional business, and how many men, more than women actually, that retire and then within 5 to 6 years, they're dead because the brain stops, you know? And you know, when I was growing up and then reaching, like, I had my first business when I was 19, right? And I was in IT in 19, 20. And the whole thing was like, I wanted to retire by the time I'm 30. That was this whole thing in my head. I want to retire by the time I'm 30. And I semi-retired at 29. But I got fucking bored, man. I was out fishing every day. Right.
Well, I can't say that too boring. I'm a big fan. Well, I'm an avid angler, man. I would never say fishing is boring.
Bro, I love fishing.
But there's a lot of
love it.
Some of the hardest days I've had have been on the water, man. That's no joke.
Yeah.
You go into a fishing tournament 8 hours long in the dead heat sun.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and you're not catching nothing. It's just a struggle. You're trying to find the fish, man. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, go Blue Chip.
What's that?
Well, you got to get your boat ready. You got to buy the stuff. You got to hook the trailer to the truck. You got to drive. You got to unload it into the water. You go do your fishing. Then you got to come back, go clean the boat up. It's like a second job, you know?
I mean, if you've ever been outdoors much, you know, fishing or in the outdoors, nothing tires you more than fresh air. like just sitting
True.
out on the water all day or hiking through the woods. I mean, when you go to sleep, you are out. Nothing makes you get nuts. You know, it's just I love it personally, but
oh man, I want to get back into doing stuff. You know, again, I told you I was fishing every single day. It's my passion, man. I was doing it since I was a little kid.
same.
You know, I'd take off in the mornings and my parents wouldn't see me until the sun was coming down because I just,
Same.
you know, we grew up near the beach and, you know, the creek was like just a walk away, and I'd be out there like all the time when I wasn't at school, you know. And now I've been over here, dude. I haven't been fishing in 20 years. How fucked up's that?
See, I've been kicking myself because I haven't been fishing this season. I actually haven't been fishing for the last, I want to say, better part of 3 years. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But prior to that, like before the pandemic hit, I was actually running a fishing business. I had a mobile tackle store that that was called Lunker Trunk, and we drove around lake to lake, selling fishing tackle and holding fishing tournaments. Right. I had a digital scoreboard that I developed and made for the car, so I would mount this TV to the side of the car. It would show the score for the tournaments and whatnot. It was pretty awesome. But again, some of the hardest days I ever had, man, were running that trunk. You know, like just trying to get like, there's just so much. Especially when you're dealing, it's one thing to deal with all the things you have to deal with as far as you're concerned when it comes to fishing. But now you're trying to manage 30, 40, 50 different people.
Yeah.
We're all reporting their fish to you. They're all coming to you for this, for that, for the other thing. And you're driving all over the province trying to keep these people happy.
Yeah.
As a business. That was extremely challenging for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I used to go out on my boat, you know, 3 days, 4 days a week. And I just go out on my own. I used to love going on my own, man. And where I grew up, man, you could just take off on the boat and then you just see a beach and you just pull up on the beach and you just camp there on your own, you know, catch big mud crabs like this. And you don't even have to take food out with you because, you know, you're guaranteed you're going to catch it, you know, catch something. And I used to love that, man. And I'm having withdrawal symptoms now, like 20 years, you know, I'm near a lake where I live now. I mean, I'm literally walking distance from the lake, but it's not a very clean lake, right? And I mean, I could go out there and catch fish, but I mean, you know, I grew up catching fish to eat it as well. So, you know, that's kind of not my thing. And the nearest beach to me is probably like an hour and a half away. Get out there to the sea. But I've said to the wife, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go at least like once a week or once every couple of weeks. I'm just going to take off on my bike, put the rod in the back, and like just go somewhere. Every couple of weeks, I'm just going to go and camp on a beach somewhere, right? And just spend a couple of days out there because that's what I need to be doing, you know. And the reality is, man, again, I'm pretty much retired, okay? And I can do that.
Sure.
Thank you, cryptocurrency. Thank you, Drip. That you know, you've allowed me that opportunity to you know, you've blessed me to be able to do that. And I just want to share the blessings with other people. You know, if I can do it, so can you. You know, I'm not one of these guys. Yes, I'm a dev and I understand code and stuff like that, but I'm not a technical guy, right? I can read code. I can come up with ideas. I can come up with tokenomics, but no man's an island. I can't do any of my projects on my own. That's why I have people like Crypto Lucky, who's usually on the stream with me and stuff like that. I mean, we've got like a whole team of people to put it together. But we've built it to the point that I could literally just step away for a few days, but generally I don't. And I really should be, right? I mean, I should be enjoying the fruits of my labor, right?
I mean, the yes and no, right? I mean, you can't stay too passive about it either, right? Because otherwise, you know, otherwise it starts to swing the other way. You know? You got to keep the numbers going up, not down, right? You do. Yeah. You do.
But as devs and as business owners, man, look, at the end of the day, you know, it's no big secret. I've said it on my stream before. I've got 6 children. Okay.
Right.
I've got 3 here with me and I've got 3 adult children in Australia. Okay. And the adult children are no longer with me. And it was really because I thought that, you know, my whole focus was I had to work, right? I had to work. And I didn't realize that I was neglecting them in the process until it was too late.
Right.
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 And so you get to a point that you go, you know what? It's not about the mansions. It's not about, because it was like that. I wanted to be able to provide them with everything and anything, and pretty much give them a freaking silver spoon, right? But I didn't realize that I was destroying the relationship in the process. Yeah,
because you're caught up in what you're doing, and you think you're doing the right thing, and to be fair, you were, because you're trying to provide for your family.
Yeah,
but absolutely, you can lose sight of what's important.
You do, and I think one of the main things, I mean, like the pandemic, and everyone can whinge and bitch about the pandemic and everything that happened, but you know what? The pandemic was a fucking blessing for me. I'll be straight up, man.
It made people spend time with their families, whether they liked it or not. It definitely,
and it made people realize that when you are busting your gut trying to do something for somebody else, whether that be a customer or a client or like whatever, and you were sacrificing your own well-being to do something for them, right? And then the pandemic hit and you had no choice but not to do it for them. It made you stop and go, hey, shit, maybe I've been looking at this the wrong way all this time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether I wanted to do the things for them or not, I couldn't do it. And so it made me like reassess my whole situation and go, hey, fuck, I need to spend more time with family.
Yeah.
Right? I need to spend more time with family, and then, getting back into crypto again and stuff like that. And then I know we're going off. Remember, I told you guys before we went on stream, this can go anywhere. We start off with crypto, but it goes off to so many different conversations from here on out. And, Gary's still on there. I hope you're still on there, bro. But, he's mentioned to me about me being real with my streams. And that's the reality. Okay. I just be real. I'm not here to give you all the technical know-how. There's so many other channels that do that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that I'm just a person, like you're just a person. Everyone out there is just a person, and realize that this is not about you guys going out there and making fucking shitloads of money, which you can, but this is about if you want to be in the position I'm in, which again, I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in, maybe you should start thinking and doing the things that I did to get to this position. Okay. The reason I'm retired is that my crypto pays for everything.
Right.
Right. It pays for everything. And I've had to build it up to that point. It pays for everything, man. I'm not sitting here every month when the electricity bill comes in, or, I've got to buy food, or I don't go, oh shit, I've got to count these cents. And I've done that, man. I've scraped up coins just to feed my family at a stage in my life, but I don't have to do that now. And this is what it's about. Okay. Build your position in crypto to be able to cover your base essentials.
Right.
A lot of people out there are still working a job, and that's absolutely beautiful. That puts you into an even better position than me to be able to grow, right? To grow your bags, grow your position in crypto. Okay. Shout out to all the guys in the crypto collective, because a lot of them, their view is grow, and fucking hats off to you. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Okay. Shout out again, Crypto Collective, Drip Prodigy, Xander G, Crypto Tiger, Drippin' Farms, Drip Millions, Blue Chip Drip, Crypto Neptune, Lady Maya, all of those that are out there. In big shout out to you, because you guys are the backbone of this whole system, and I love it. Build your position to be able to be in a similar position to me. And I get people say, oh yeah, but you're in the Philippines, man. That's why you can do it. That's bullshit, guys. That's bullshit. I can live anywhere in the world. Right. I can live anywhere in the world. I can guarantee that, So it's about looking at it and putting yourself into a position where you establish short-term goals, and those short-term goals are very achievable. Once you achieve that, it gives you a great boost of positivity and motivation. You can set another goal, and then another goal, and another goal. And also, in that light, Don't focus only on goals. Focus on the purpose, right? Anyone can say, hey, I want a Ferrari, I want a Lambo. But if you don't know the reason why you want it, you know what? You're never going to get there.
Right.
Always take a step back and look at yourself and go, why do I want this? What fuels that fire for you to have it is what's going to make you achieve it.
Right.
It's not just because someone showed you a system that it's going to work and you're going to make money from it. No, that's not it. Right? Because, I mean, hey, if you want to talk about it, just the money. If someone dropped $1 million on your plate right now, do you have the ability of making that million last? Hey, baby. You know, do you have the ability of making that million last?
Right.
Can you actually space it out and let
or better
that
yet, can you grow it? Can you
Yeah.
grow it? Can you make it work for you? Like you said, yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. Can you make it work for you? Or are you just going to go out and buy the Lambo?
Right.
Are you just going to go out and buy Lambo, buy the house, buy a fucking plane, right? Do you know how much it costs to run a plane?
I do not, and I'm not going to be looking anytime soon.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's the thing. And so many people think that success is based on all of those things, right? Dude, I'm going to be successful and people are going to think I'm successful because I got my own private jet. Fucking woohoo. How much does it cost to run it? Have you put in a plan to be able to maintain that thing?
Right.
All right. So what? Like, I mean, seriously, I read a quote recently that came up on Facebook, you know, and it was about something that's happened to a lot of people in the past year. Okay. We were up on the high and then we hit a bear market and people's income has dropped like up to 90% or more.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of people are having to, like, they quit their jobs, etc. Now they're having to go back and get new jobs again, go back to the workforce, etc., because they hadn't planned things properly and they weren't expecting for this shit to happen, right?
Right.
There was a quote I saw and it said, if you're not willing to take a step back for a year, which will allow you to move forward many years, you think too much about what other people think of you. You get the point?
Yeah.
Right? People have lived this lavish lifestyle through drip and through other things for so many, like for quite a while. Okay. Now we're in a bear market and they go, oh shit, I can't maintain this. All right. But my pride is too fucking big that I can't go back and get a job, or I can't move out of this house, move to a smaller place, because what are people going to think of me? Yeah. Who gives a shit what people think of you?
You know, I have a saying.
I don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Unless the person's paying your bills for you, it means nothing.
It means nothing, man.
You know, like everybody's got an opinion, right? Everyone wants to tell you what you should do or how you should live your life. Unless they're paying your bills, feeding you and housing you and whatnot, they got no room. There's nothing to say. There's no conversation there. You know, people should just mind their P's and Q's.
Yep. That's it.
Right?
So
and
I know I went off on a tangent there.
That's all right.
I went off on a tangent, but I can get pretty passionate.
My goal is I like Drip Millions.
Yeah.
Financial freedom and geographical freedom.
Generational wealth and geographical freedom. Yes, absolutely.
Geographical freedom.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. You know, be able to live everywhere and anywhere whenever you want to. You know, so and as you can see, most of the people that are watching, look at that. Right. And the thing is that a lot of people are actually scared to say shit like this. Right? They don't want to be judged. Guys, I don't give a shit if you judge me or not. Right?
Well, that's kind of the world we live in now, right? Like everybody cares about how many followers they have, or you know, how many likes they get on a post. I mean, you see the statistics.
Yeah.
Like the mental health side of things and the suicide rates from Instagram and things like that, it's just off the charts, right? Because people just care too much about what other people think. It's always
Yep.
this competition with the Joneses, right? You know, it's the next door neighbor gets a new car, so you got to get a new car.
Yeah,
And it's
keeping
just
up with the
this-
Joneses, right?
Yeah, man, it's just never ending, you know, bullshit really. That
Yeah.
people should just pay way too much attention to. You know, you're letting people live rent free in your head when you do
Yep.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, again, what do I say, man? Like, you know, I look at the first live streams I was doing like a few years back,
Mhm.
and it wasn't about crypto or anything like that. It was just stuff I was doing on Facebook, and I look
Sure.
back at it and I go, man, where have I gotten to? I was doing it in my workshop, man, and there was like just shit everywhere. I was using this little laptop, and you know, and I was doing these live streams, and I was getting followers. But I look at that, and I look at it where I am today.
Mhm.
But you know what? This shit could fall out of the whole crypto market today, and I could go back to doing that, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. But I mean, I'd never fall back to that position anymore. But well, yeah, you care, but the care factor is about like myself and my family. It's not about whatever anyone else out there thinks of me.
Right.
You know, if anyone else out there thinks, oh shit, you know, look at Danny, he's had to go back to this and go back to that. Hey man, I didn't set my standards so high that I had to be up here for people to judge me, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Right? I'm just me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'll plainly admit that. Right?
Mhm.
And it's just about being real to yourself.
That's absolutely it. Yeah.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more.
Be real to yourself.
Couldn't agree
And-
more.
Yep. So we got here, first million I put in stocks and Uniswap. Be perfect in drip and animal farm by month, so not including those. Then business or real estate, maybe both. Absolutely. Right. Again, all I can say on my side of things is that I've taken wealth that I've generated through crypto, and now I've put it into traditional businesses as well. You have to have both.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to diversify.
You have to. And if people think that their whole life can be based just around crypto wealth, I hope it works for you. Right?
I mean, you have to be incredibly lucky, right? It's not impossible, obviously, but
It's not impossible.
You have to be incredibly lucky. It's like winning the lottery, playing a casino. You know, you might hit, you might not. Most likely not.
And generally, if you're not prepared for when that big hit comes, generally you lose it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So start thinking about those things now while we're still making the money that we're making, right? Start thinking about putting it into other things.
Sure.
You know?
Yep.
Putting it into other things. I mean, just simple things. I mean, dude, I got like little barber shops. I had little water refilling stations, you know, little freaking food stall things. You know, if you have 10 small businesses
It
producing
all
you,
contributes.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
A little bit counts for sure.
if you can have a small business that will generate you, you know, $500 a day, a small bit, $500, right? Through a business, you should be able to do that. And that could be small. It could be a hot dog stand.
Could
Okay.
be, yeah. Coffee
Yep.
shop, coffee stand. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you can clear $500 roughly a day, clear profit. Okay. You have 10 of those little manageable businesses. Within 3 years, you're a millionaire,
Yeah.
right? That's how simple
Pure
it is.
profit with hot dogs.
Yeah, man.
You know, pure profit with
Hot dogs, man.
A pack of hot dogs, man, a couple bucks, and you sell a hot dog for $5.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. There's 400% profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you consider that. These little tiny businesses, and people always perceive that, oh, I'm going to get into this business, I'm going to earn like thousands and thousands of dollars. Dude, take it a step back.
What about Balut? What
Balut?
about Balut?
Oh, dude, I love
Yeah.
balut. For the people that don't know what balut is very famous, like all over the world, because it's like from the Philippines, and it's a salted duck egg where there's already a chick on the inside. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. That's balut. And then there's balut penoy, which is like it's a fertilized egg, but the chick hasn't formed yet on the inside, right?
Right.
It actually tastes really good. It's terrible to think about it, but it actually tastes really good. You know?
Interesting.
But
I just
you can
remember
only
the
have so
guy
much.
at night pushing the cart around, going,
When was the last time you were here, bro? Blue Chip, when was the last time you were here?
A long time ago. I was in 1996.
Wow.
I was in a Longapo.
In the Longapo. Wow. Yeah, man.
Yes.
The first time I ever came here was 1995. And I was supposed to be here. Well, the first time I came by myself, I was supposed to be here for like a month. After 2 weeks, I went home. I thought, fuck, I don't like this shit. Right? It was just so different. And then I came back here in 2003 for a 6-month holiday, and here I am, right? Still here, almost 20 years later. So,
that's some holiday.
Yeah, man, it's quite crazy.
Do you drink San Miguel or Red Horse?
Red Horse, I love Red Horse. Red Horse, man. Red Horse is the beer over here, which is like it's hit or miss. It can be anything from 8% to like 14% alcohol. Right?
It's not consistent?
Yeah.
No.
It's just random.
It's random.
Just surprise, take a shot.
And then you can get a bottle where the horse on the bottle has got red eyes, and that's called the Happy Horse, and that's even higher.
Okay.
Right. So that's it's Red Horse is awesome. San Mig, nah, man, San Mig lights and stuff. I just can't get into it. I just get bloated from it. I don't get drunk on it. But anyone that vomit when I crack an egg with blood dot in it. Well, dude, when you have the balut and it's got the feathers and everything in it, right? And then the next day you go to the toilet and you see the feathers.
Oh, dude.
That's balut.
Wow.
But oh man, but if any of you ever come to visit again, like come and visit over here, man. Yes, Alak-Azul will be distributed all over the world, right? It will be distributed over the world, but come and have Alak-Azul with the creator. Come and like have some with me, man. And the rule in my house, in my place, when we drink Alak-Azul, the first shot has to be bottoms up. You can't sip it. You got to have bottoms up. And that first shot will always hit you. It always hits you. But then you just drink and it gets you to a point and you just stay at this point and you don't go beyond that. So, we've started drinking here like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we finished like 5 or 6 the next morning. And just like freaking awesome, So you got to drink the Alak-Azul with me. So it's funny like seeing these. God. Yikes. So when Alak-Azul, I want the blue juice. Alak-Azul will be out within the next 8 to 12 months. Okay, 8 to 12 months. This amazing product that I have here, it'll be out there. And again, I've been working on the actual drink itself since 2018. All right. So, but there's just so many processes that you have to go through, like even just, for example, distributing it to the US.
Sure.
So many different states have so many different rules and laws.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we got to take that into account. Then we've got Australia, we've got Europe, we've got, Asia. Asia region's not so much an issue. But the thing is that with Alak-Azul, there's a secret recipe that only I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So then lies the question. Like at the moment, I'll be straight up with you. There's 4 different kinds of alcohol in it. There's 4 different things that make up Alak-Azul, and all 4 of those things are all produced in different distilleries.
Right.
Right. So then it comes back to one central location, and then it gets bottled in the particular formula that I want it to be bottled in.
Right.
Okay. So that's just one. I mean, there's different variations of it. But so when you look at that on a world scale, okay, when I launch it in the US, what am I going to do? Am I going to get it like all made, distilled, bottled here, and then exported out to the US? Or am I going to set up distilleries in the US? Am I going to set up distilleries in Australia? Am I setting up distilleries in throughout Europe, etc.? I mean, how many countries in Europe? Africa. So they're the things that they're the challenges that we face at the moment, and there's just so many legal ramifications that come with that. Okay,
you almost have to pilot it and just see what the demand is to determine the determination.
Bro, I've been talking about Alak-Azul for quite a few years, and I tell you what, when it actually launches, it's going to be mad. People are already talking about it. People are already talking about it, without it actually being out there. And that's just the drink. We're not even talking about the ecosystem yet.
That's a fair point. But I would still say that, it might be wise to do some sort of experiment in the States before you go all in and get the distilleries over there and whatnot, so that for a fact that it's going to move. Right? Absolutely. Because talk is cheap. Talk is real cheap.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, for sure. So, and I totally get that. And that, I mean, obviously that's the market research we've been doing. There's just so much involved, man. And that's why when people say, when Alak-Azul, it'll come when it comes, but I can just give you like a roundabout's time when it's coming.
Sure.
Because again, it's not just the drink, it's the whole ecosystem that goes with it.
What do you have planned with it?
Well, man, I've got my own crypto ecosystem that it's going to be, the first cryptocurrency that's supported by a physical beverage product. Okay. And so we also have different tiers and different levels. So it's got its own NFT game. It's got its own, like, you'll be able to pay for Alak-Azul using an app on your phone in every single restaurant and or hotel or whatever that actually stocks it. And, you can pay it using an Alak-Azul token. The first 2,000 bottles that are produced, there's going to be 5 bottles within the first 2,000 bottles that go out, which will have a physical token underneath the lid. And if you're the lucky one to actually get it, that's $10,000 worth of Alak-Azul token.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. All the merch, all the marketing, like the bottles where you put the bottle on a stand and it emits a hologram with the logo in the middle of the bottle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man. We've got lots of exciting shit happening with it.
Cool.
So, you can imagine just hanging out with your friends there, and you bought the merch pack that includes this little stand, and it's got like shot glasses around it. You sit that little stand on your table that you're having drinks with your friends with, and you press the button, and there's a little hologram that's appearing on the inside of the bottle.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like it.
It's awesome, man. It's absolutely awesome.
I like it already.
Danny, send me a bottle, Dan. So the recipe.
What kind of hangover does it have?
Bro, I get zero. To be total, and that's the feedback that I get from so many people. Like, we get zero hangover. Don't ask me why.
Hey.
But yeah. Zero hangover, bro. And I mean, look at me, man. I'm on these streams. I do my streams at I start at 9:30, but like earlier, I was on a stream with Crypto Unlimited. I had a couple of shots on there. And usually when I finish this stream, I jump onto Zoom. I have, a few people on Zoom with me, and then I have meetings, and I don't usually stop till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And that's drinking this like all day. That's my Sunday.
And you're drinking your profit already.
Oh, dude, I've got Papa Smurf tied up out in the back, and every time I need more, I just beat him up. I just grab his sweat and his blood, and I'm all good again, right? Anyway, so there you go. I don't know. I didn't mean to get onto the Alak-Azul topic, but is Gary still? Are you still with us, Gary? I know he's there. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm here just listening.
Feel free to jump in, man. And have a chat and have a conversation. I know that you've got spoken with you in the last couple of weeks. You've got that a similar mindset to me in regards to like how to grow things. And yeah, please jump in.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on the growth as far as drip goes. I think it's a wonderful tool to utilize in any different way because it's agile. Like you having multiple wallets, you can do what you want and set them up how you want. And as you said, don't worry about what other people say. Figure out what you need for you, your family, your lifestyle, and go that way.
Yeah.
Like if I had $1 million dropped in front of me, I wouldn't need to work again because I just don't live that way. It's not necessary. That's why I said I put in the chat a short story called "How Much Land Does a Man Need?" And basically the thing of it is, he goes to a village and said, "Look, we have the most beautiful fertile land in all of the country, but you have to start at sunrise. You have to walk towards the sun. You have to turn left. You basically have to plot yourself out, and you have to make it back here by sundown. Whatever you do, however far you make it, it's yours."
Yeah.
So the man goes all day, and by the time he gets back, he's so exhausted and beat to death, he dies. So it turns out he only needed that little spot where he passed away right there, just like 6 by 6 feet.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that. How are you going to spend that time? Had he just walked a couple hundred feet either way, took him 20 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever. He'd had beautiful land. He could have sown for generations, no payment, no nothing. And he wouldn't have exhausted himself working to death. And he'd have used that extra time he had all day, or in this instance, all of his life, to be with his family and his friends and do things and go fishing and create Alak-Azul and eat nasty ass eggs with real chickens in them. You have all the time of the day to do those weird things,
Yeah, man. And
did he really like
go, bro.
You ever eat dinaguan?
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. That's one of my favorite things. My wife hates it. They're not allowed to, like within their religion, they're not allowed to eat it because it's blood. And I don't want to get into religion, guys. But for me, it's my favorite, man. I love it. I don't eat it enough, but I love it, man. Dinaguan, guys. Dinaguan is like originally it's a pork dish, okay, and they actually use the pork blood as well to cook it up, like the pig's blood to cook it up. It's awesome, man. Now, if you can get your head away from the fact that it's blood, and I know they do it in other cultures as well.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think here we have something called blood pudding, and it sounds like it's very much the same thing.
Blood pudding,
it's the exact same thing.
Well, I don't know. Blood pudding, I guess that's more from like
it's pig's blood.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like in a sausage style, right? Blood pudding.
Right.
Yeah. So that's from I think that's a Celtic tradition, or Scottish, or something like that. Yeah, that's where it came from. And
Dinaguan would be like chitlins with blood.
Yeah, we have chitlins here. I'm with Blue Trip. I'm right here in North Carolina. He's in South Carolina.
Okay.
Pig intestines boiled and cooked and seasoned.
Well,
so
Matt, intestines I won't eat. I just won't do it. And that's something that people eat a lot over here. They eat chicken intestines and pig intestines. Dude, I just can't do it, man. I just can't bring myself to eating a shit tube,
But you'll shit feathers?
Yeah, but that's different, right? But for me, it's like, I mean, hey, if you're cooking it in your own home, right? If you're cooking it in your own home and you clean it yourself, great, right? That's great. If you want to do that, that's awesome. But if you're going to go and buy it out in the street and you don't know who the hell's cooked it or how hygienic they were, fuck that shit. I'm sorry, guys, but I just won't do it.
That's like when I was young, I used to love to eat. My grandfather, he would cook chicken livers, and I'd eat them. I'd eat 10, 15, 20 of them at 10, 11 years old. And I went in the kitchen and I was like, "What you cooking tonight, Grant?" And I looked at him. What the hell is that? Where's the crunchy bready stuff? I'm not eating that, brother. They look like fat pieces of liver tissue. He said, "Yeah, that's what they are. They're just meat and blood." I said, "Oh no, don't cook those."
Oh man, there's it's funny. I was drinking with some friends in a place called Subic Bay, Subic, and you know, they were talking about, one of them is from like a provincial area here, Tarlac, and they're talking about a dish called Papa Itan. Papa Itan is like all the entrails. It's all the like inside stuff that most people in the Western world would just throw it away, right? And they do this thing, and the traditional way, they actually take some of the intestines from a goat, right? And they actually take out some of the excrement, the shit, and put it into the actual dish. I'm like, oh my God, no way. No way.
Not for me.
Right?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm all good, man. I'm not
hard pass
that.
on that. Yeah. Hard pass on that.
But it's like, it's cultures, right? There's different
Oh, for
cultures.
sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like, what's that coffee? There's a coffee that they make out of the servant shit.
Kopi Luka or something like that. I would never try it. I would never in a million years drink that stuff. But yeah.
But it's coffee, and it's like very sought after, man. They take the coffee beans that have actually come through the shit of this animal.
Yeah.
And that's what they use.
Yeah, it's a breed of cat.
Serve it or something like that. Yeah, man. Like
Kopi Lupa, or let me just look here. Most expensive coffee. It's the most expensive coffee.
Yeah.
And I would never in a million years not even try it. Not even try it.
Prodigy. I eat anything, but I just can't get that chicken fetus past my throat.
Kopi Luwak. Kopi Luwak. Luwaq or AK. Kopi Luwak.
I tell you what, man, you like over here, bro. You can go to like the supermarket, like the big shopping centers and stuff, and then they have the food halls and the eateries down there, and you can literally buy day-old chicks. It's a day-old chicken. It's like this, and they've got it all on the skewers, and they deep fried or whatever. I mean, it's literally, it's like this, day-old chicks. And then you go to a bar, which I'm sure Blue Chip Drip has done when he was over here, right? Okay. You go to a bar, and then you see on the menu, chicken ass.
Chicken ass.
Chicken ass. Right? That's part of the menu. Okay, chicken ass.
I've never seen it.
Look at this. It's funny, man. It's like cultures, right? You see cultures that will eat like tarantulas and things like that, like bugs and cockroaches. Even in Australia, in Queensland, I remember seeing chocolate-coated cockroaches, man.
Hey, I think the World Economic Federation or whatever wants us to eat bugs. They want to change all of our diets to bugs as their protein.
Man,
that's what they want.
I don't know. Have you ever eaten anything like that?
No.
I've eaten witchetty grubs in Australia. Witchetty grubs, which is like this, and it looks like a fat worm with like teeth. It's white. I've eaten those.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like, I wouldn't parachute for the fun of it. If the plane was going down, give me the pack. I'm out. But I'm not going to do it just to feel alive, because I already feel alive, right? And the same thing is true with food. Unless I'm actually starving, I'm going to go for something a little more,
I'm of the same mind, bro. It's like, why would you eat that when there's something else you can eat?
I mean, if there's no other choice, then you go at it. But
but I mean, I've seen, and it's actually pretty sad. But like when I spent some time in Thailand as well, and there's places in Thailand, bro, where some of the shit that they eat, holy hell, man! Like,
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
And you actually feel sorry for the animal.
Yeah.
Monkeys, right? I've seen the monkeys like with a thing on there, and they just open up and they eat the brain while the monkey's alive.
Wow.
That's just like, what? Why? There's just so much more you can eat.
Yeah, I mean, culturally speaking, the world is extremely diverse with the diets that we eat around. Like, it's incredible, right? Both how the dishes are cooked or how they're, or the animals. I mean, look at shark fin soup, like that shark fin soup.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's tragic what they do to the sharks.
Absolutely.
And that soup is supposed to be like the dish, like you know.
I know.
But-
It's sad, really. Yeah. Tragic what they did to the Sharks, take the fins and throw the rest back. I mean, yeah.
It's just such a waste, right? It's such a waste.
Yeah. I mean, look, Dripology Nelly, man, you've been eating scorpions and spiders, and good on you, bro. I eat like duck embryo.
I think like what Wesley said, it comes down to cultural differences. Like there's just no wasting in Thailand and the Philippines. You don't have, you can't throw food away. Any type of food, we'll do something with it.
If you're going to take an animal's life like that, then you should absolutely make use of the entire thing if you can. You should, you know, there's no way they should be throwing that back. None.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Absolutely. But guys, look at this Alak-Azul Show, right? We talk about every freaking thing. I got to drink to that. One more, and then, gentlemen, like we're pushing 2 hours again. Wow.
One thing you said, Danny, when you were talking about your diversification, you had said before about getting barbershops or little businesses to keep the money coming. There's not really a good viaduct for that. Like crypto is so new, especially DeFi. Like the money we can possibly make. Say if drip does go back to $2, $3, $4, $5.
Yeah,
I'm doing well, but I don't know exactly how to translate that and stay in the space. As a lot of other people really don't have a good clue where to stop and maintain that. Well, because you can't keep growing it. You can't keep expecting for that same thing. You can't plan for that for 10 years, 15, 20 years. That would be foolish.
That's why, again, I know a lot of people will not agree with me out there, but that's why I say take profits along the way. Always take profits along the way and then use that. I mean, it's different now. It's different now. But I remember when Drip first started, or the first few months into Drip, and I was actually pretty active in the Drip main chat and in the communities and stuff like that. And people were watching my streams, and and I had people saying to me, actually, I kind of took it in a bad way, but people were saying to me, yeah, we all know you're retired, and stuff, because I literally am. But they were saying, you retire today, we're going to retire tomorrow. And that's fine. If that's your play, man, more power to you. Absolutely more power to you, right? But it was always in my mind that you never know what the price is going to be. You never know what the price is going to be. So it's like me, I still claim every week and I still sell every week. Not on every account. I'm not going to kill my accounts, right? But at the end of the day, look, the people that started from when I started, I'm not talking about the people now, huh? Because the buy-in price now is fucking amazing. So you may as well get in now, right? But back in the day, if you didn't capitalize when it was $201, well, that's your problem. It's not mine. I did. I sold, right? And I use that money. I mean, take profits along the way, not financial advice, and not going against what other people's strategies are or their opinions are. But really, you don't know where the price is going to be. Okay? Again, I live off it. I'm not going to go, oh, today is only this much, so I'm not going to sell today. Okay? If I'm only relying on one account, then all right? But I'm not relying on one account. I build my position to have like multiple accounts that I can use some of those accounts for my daily income, right?
Right.
Yeah, my daily income. Other accounts I use just to grow. But hey, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity when it was like 50, 60, 100, $200. I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to live off that. Why would I? Right? I don't have a job. I don't have a regular weekly income from something else, right?
Right.
That's what I choose to do. But so, Gary, again, like, take profits along the way and use those profits to create other forms of revenue, other forms of income. And I can't tell you when to do that. That's entirely up to you. Everyone's in a totally different position, right? Everyone's in a totally different position. But Yes, I agree. Build up many multiple wallets, and you add all of those things together. Add all those things together, and that's going to give you the income that you want to achieve, even at the price it is today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
DCA in, do what you need to do. DCA in, but take profits, guys. That's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah.
Take profits. You can have big numbers, and that's absolutely beautiful. You have big numbers, but numbers mean shit unless you can use it for something.
That's right.
You know, you could have $1 million sitting in the bank,
mm-hmm.
and you go, I want to maintain that $1 million in my bank. Beautiful. 10 years from now, what's that 1 million worth?
I mean, from a purchasing power perspective, it's not worth $1 million.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
No.
And that's the thing. You can have all this money put away, but you're better off using that money in putting it into something that's going to generate you even more money.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100%.
So, I mean, hey, diversify that into property if you want. Diversify that into other things. Property, why not? Right? Buy some property that's bigger than what you could personally use, and then turn the rest of it into like Airbnbs. You know what I mean? And hey, look at this. All right. I'm going to put this up. Dripology, big shout out to you again, brother. I wouldn't sell before Tuesday. Yes, I agree. Absolutely agree. And NFA, I wouldn't sell before Tuesday. Why? Because DDD's coming out, and you're going to see some great opportunities to sell at a higher price, or it's gonna be quite volatile. But if you've been holding on to some drip, hey, man, drip is there for you to actually make money from. If you're going to wait for the price to go up and then sell, freaking do it. It's your money.
Yeah.
It's your money. Don't let anybody else tell you not to do this and not to do that. It's your money. You can do with it whatever you wish to do with it, as long as you know why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not financial advice. Not financial advice. And Nelly, again, big shout out to the Crypto Collective. These guys are fucking champions, right? And Wes, when I explain to you, we'll do it on another call, right? We'll do it offline. And I explain to you about drip and share the blessings with you on that. And if you decide to actually put in something into it, man, it's awesome. That's all I can say. It's awesome. I've been living off it for so long, and you don't hear about this where something's lasted so long in DeFi and it's never been exploited, and it's still doing what it's supposed to be doing every single day. Drip, love it. Gary, does that kind of answer what you were saying, man?
Yes, sir. Affirmation. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah. So I hope again, this is all I do, man. I just want to share the blessings. I'm never there to say, do this, do that, do this, do that. It's like, this has worked for me. I'm living proof. If you want to do the same, I can help you out, right? Mm-hmm. By giving you information, giving you a little bit of guidance. It's not financial advice, but I can give you a little bit of guidance and tell you my story, and then maybe you can do the same as me.
Right.
I'm not here to say, oh, look at me, I've done this. No, it's not about that. Fuck that. and yeah, Wes, I swear a lot, but I'm an Aussie. So
I'm not. I tend to swear quite a bit myself. So
love it. My kind of guy.
It's all good.
Don't worry. Nelly's convinced us all that all Aussies are supposed to swear, and if you don't, you're probably a sissy.
Oh man, if you could hear my mother. Like, my mother came to visit me over here, and I was having a drinking session with my friends outside, and she comes over, and I said, hey, Mom, how you doing? She goes, oh, fuck, you're drinking again. So my mother's awesome. She's absolutely awesome. So, yeah, so there you go, guys. I mean, anyone out there, if you got any other questions, I know we've been blabbing on, and I've been talking way too much. So, I apologize for that.
But if anyone's got
yes, brother.
I wanted to thank you for helping my friends, Big T and Gordo, the other night when you stepped in. Appreciate that.
No problem, bro. Always happy to help. Always happy to help, because I mean, a lot of things that happen that are actually quite simple, but people have never been told about it or never been taught about it. So, you know, yes, I'm in the crypto collective, but I'm not actually, well, I'm not the crypto collective or anything like that. I'm part of that group, and I'm so blessed to be in that group. Shout out again to Nelly Dripology for inviting me over there. Thank you so much for that. And I'm in that group. And again, you know, if the other guys aren't around, and if I can help in any way, shape, or form, I'm there. You know, I'm there. And that was a good thing. You know, like going from ETH to drip, but there's so many processes in between, and people go, oh shit, I tried to do it and it disappeared. I can't see it. Well, that's what the blockchain's for. You know, let's have a look at the blockchain, see where it went, and we were able to find that the ETH was converted to USDC. It hasn't been lost. It's still in there. You know, so yeah, bro, I'm happy. I'm so happy and glad that I was able to help. So, and thank you for the shout out on your video.
Thanks again.
You know, so, and same with you, Wes, man. I'm gonna study your thing. I'm gonna study that.
Awesome.
And so, if there's any way I can help with that, you know, again, guys out there, I'm not endorsing per se, okay, at this point. But if I believe that it's a good thing and I look into it and I believe it's a good thing, man, I'll be pushing it out there. I'll be sharing the blessing on that. And that's the whole thing with the FTR movement that we're building as well. It's about making people accountable. And where's, you know, with the FTR movement, I'm pretty sure you're going to end up appearing on it.
Yeah.
As with anything. And there's nothing personal, but it's like with the stuff that we're developing, we invite people to actually come and analyze us. Yeah. Right? There may be things that we've missed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe things that we've missed that we can correct. You know?
No, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I know that we're definitely one of the most transparent projects in the space. You know, I sit in VC myself 16, 18 hours a day, ready to answer any questions that anybody has. You know, there's no book for any of this, but I'm trying to do things as by the book as possible, if that makes sense, as ethically and as accountable as possible, right?
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, I think the things that we're building have a lot of potential. I think it's a huge opportunity that I'd be a fool to squander. So I'm taking advantage, and I'm building, and I'm just working extremely hard to make it all happen. And I think that, you know, if you have any questions, obviously I'm always available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you.
We do have a lot of moving parts, and we're trying to simplify. We're always trying to improve how we present it.
Yes.
And we are getting better, and the system is getting, you know, more robust, and things are just generally improving. You know, we've been working for 2 years on this stuff, and it's you know, I spent the better part of the last 2 years just simply learning how blockchain works.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to copy paste somebody else's code and not understand how it worked.
Absolutely.
I wanted to know every little thing that's going on, so if something breaks or something's wrong, I know how to fix it.
Yep.
So it took me some time to get to that point, but we're here now. And you know, the IVNs is something that I think that you know, our whole community is pretty excited about. We haven't been able to find anything like it as far as like you know, anybody that's doing the same thing. It seems pretty unique. So I think we're pretty lucky there. So it's just a matter of getting it out there and, you know, putting it through its paces.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful, man. Again, if there's anything I can do to help, man, I'm here. Any more questions from anyone out there? We've been going 2 hours. Wow. Again, right? We've been going 2 hours. And so if you have any questions out there, guys, in the chat, while we got Wes on here, we're going to have him back again in the near future as well. Blue Chip Drip, Gary, again, finally great to have you on the stream as well. And there's a few out there that we'll be inviting on as well in the near future. But yeah, please, guys, you have the opportunity right now to ask any other questions that you may have. But in about like 5 minutes, I think I'm going to call it, guys.
Right.
Is there anything else? Anything else you guys want to say?
I mean, I thank you very much for having me on here. It's been a great conversation all the way around. It's gone all over the place, like you said, but that's the idea, right?
It is.
That's the idea.
Is.
Yeah.
and thank you again for being on the stream, man. Like, you know,
a pleasure.
I've been meaning to have you on here, but the last few weeks it's been pretty nuts. It's been pretty nuts, and actually every week from here on is going to be pretty crazy, you know. But you're more than welcome. Now you've been on here, man. You're more than welcome to jump in at any time. You know, I'm going to explain drip to you, and you know, maybe you get on board with that, maybe not. It doesn't matter. But if you are and you want, you know, more information and from these people that are in the stream right now or in the chats right now, man, like the door's open to you.
Yeah.
Okay, doors open to you. Drip, man. Brother, I can't wait to catch up with you in person, and we're going to get smashed on Alak-Azul, bro.
We're going to do it, man. We're definitely going to do it. I'm ready to jump out. I'm using drip to exit the matrix, and I want to start traveling, man.
Oh, beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know, when things push forward with Alak-Azul and we have Alak-Azul Island and stuff like that, you guys are going to have to come and visit. Definitely, you know, spend some time on there, man.
Are you gonna have a blue lagoon?
Well, we got plenty of blue lagoons out here, man. Like you know, but no, I'm very excited for it. There's gonna be like, you know, Alak-Azul themed hotels and resorts and bars and things like that. So an actual island as well. So you know, we may have a section of it. We'll turn the sand blue or something. We'll see. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube world. Thank you again for tuning in. I'll update you guys. We're going to be doing other streams like midweek and stuff like that. And I know some of you have seen my music stuff. Thank you for that. Knocking on Heaven's Door and Kryptonite, and I'm going to do a few more this week. So, you know, that's the thing I love about what I'm doing, man. It just gives me the opportunity to actually just take a break and step away and just do some music, because it's what I love, you know.
Yeah, man.
And I'll just put some more videos out there and see what happens. You know, I actually have another project which is music based. Okay, so I've been helping a few people online to, you know, I get messages from people. Oh man, Danny, I can't quite work out this chord progression, or, you know, I can't work out this and that, you know, the strumming patterns. And I said, yeah, let's jump on a Zoom, and I help people, you know, help people to come up with that final thing. They've done a song or whatever. Let's do it. Yeah. So, and I've been doing that for free. And then I thought, okay, well, hey, the reality is I can actually monetize that.
Sure.
You know, I can monetize that and give benefit to them. So I'm looking at things where we're creating this music group as well, and we'll be doing stuff online here, but giving the opportunity for like composers and singers, etc., to actually showcase their own compositions. So we'll be doing like concerts and things like that, where concerts are performed by people that have come from these groups, and it gives them the opportunity to put themselves out there doing their original music, and each one of those artists will become an NFT of their own. So we now bring it into crypto. So that's another project that we're doing. So lots and lots of things. Thank you, LCM. Tony, thank you very much. Again, thank you for the loyal people out there. Once again, a big shout out to the Crypto Collective, Ladies of the Faucet, Crypto Unlimited 22, Crypto Collective as a whole. I can't mention everyone, but one of these days I'm going to write down all the names, and because I just don't want to miss anybody. Don't know what happened to BIGWIG'S Big Voice. He was supposed to join us today. Gary, thanks again for jumping on the stream. And ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Are we done? Or we got some more to say?
Hey, Gary, we got to hook up, man. Carolina guys, we got to hook up and have
we're not far.
Have some drinks and some chicken livers.
No, God bless. I'll eat chicken livers before I eat those damnable eggs from the Philippines.
Those eggs are pretty good, man. Don't knock it until you try it.
Yeah, I would have to try it before I say that. It's just joking.
Yeah, man. Like I did a video when one of my sons from Australia came and lived over here with me for like 4 years, and I had it on video, but I ended up pulling it down. But had it on YouTube, and he was tasting his balut for the first time, and he's going, looking at it like this, and then he had the first sip of it of the juice inside. He goes, "Oh, shit, that's not that bad," and then he ate the whole thing. And then my other son came over, and he brought a couple of mates over with him from Australia. And dude, as soon as they got a little bit, they were like, blowing chunks in the garden. Right? So it's different, but honestly, it's actually not as bad as what people think. So,
they did the Tony Morrow, huh? They're like, bleh, can't do it.
Absolutely. There you go. All right. This is for Panadol. Panadol, another shot. I'm going to do my last shot. Alak-Azul. Alak-Azul.
Alak-Azul.
Cheers, everyone.
And then I think we're done, guys. I think we're done. I'll do an airdrop next week. We've kind of pushed beyond time now, but I'll do an airdrop next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll do 300 or 400 drippers in airdrop next week. That'll do it. So, and depending on the price next week, that could be like a huge amount. Right. But again, I don't look at the price. I just look at how many drip coins I have. Right. So there you go. Any last words, boys?
No, just thanks very much for having me, man. It's been great. I've had a good time.
Oh, man.
Really
Thank you. Thanks you. Boys on the stream, just stay on. Like, I'm going to just stay on for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
Just want to quickly touch base with you, but I'm going to play the outro. And thank you again, everybody, for tuning in to the Alak-Azul Show. Danny D, aka Alaktrician Man, in the house with Blue Chip Drip, Gary, Wesley Long, F.A.T.E Labz. Guys, please look into that one. Look into that one. The description is down in the bottom there for his Telegram group. And as he progresses and does more things with YouTube and the website and stuff, I'll promote it on the site here as well. And we'd love to have you back again, Wes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Alak-Azul, over and out. Let me find my right outro. There you go. All right, later.
No,